Okay, this is introduction to numerology or to a course that is coming up. But first, it's more about explaining about what does it mean, um, what does it mean numbers? Why numerology? What is the code? And I call it unleash your code. And I want to explain that because it's when people think about numerology, it said, oh, numbers. So it's beyond numbers. It's about unleashing one's soul or one's desire and finding a way to identify it. So we're gonna go through that. So why numerology? So if you are either listening or on the call, or if you want to receive a monthly progression for 2021, then send me an email to the email on the slide. It's akivasn@gmail.com. And I'm just telling you a little bit about myself. I've been a student of numerology and tarot and astrology and Kabbalistic knowledge for, I would say, almost 2 decades. And I've been using the system of numerology to help other people find their own voice and their own understanding of themselves and their qualities and their pattern, as well as what timing will work for them best. I've been coaching hundreds of people and from all walk of life. So it's not like a personal thing. We all have patterns. We all have to work with what we call shadow and light, or what we can say or identified as challenge and benefits. And so it's not like one person has, we're all human in that sense. So we all have to deal with our patterns. And each one of us entered life in a physical form in a different starting date, which is our birth date. And that gives a framework for how we operate, how we perceive our environment, how we perceive our selves, and how we perceive our reality. So self-reality doesn't start with the reality that is out there. It's something that is embedded within ourselves, within our patterns, and we perceive the outside in terms of like the lens that our soul is working with, sometimes confined with. So let's go a little bit about understanding numerology or numeric blueprint is understanding some sort of parameters of self or our self operating system. And when we actually can really relate to that and understand that, we can actually change it, not operate automatically from those patterns and regulation, but actually transcend it to something that is much more beneficial and rewarding for our short time on this plane. So the code, as I define it, is a cluster of energy that are identified by rhythms: the present, the past, challenge and assets, what makes one happy and fulfilled, identifying that what will drive one's passion home is all embedded in these rhythms in this code. And these rhythms identified through numbers. The rhythm of 2 is different than the rhythm of 10, for instance, or the rhythm of 3 is different than the rhythm of 7. There's different noise to it, you can say, and there's a different energy to it. So in general, why numerology? Numerology is based on the idea that everything in the universe have a vibration that is correlate to a mathematical order or number. The same way musical notes carry their own vibration and frequencies. And one's potential and destiny are the essence of one expression. And if we understand the rhythms of one's potential and destiny through numbers, we can treat those possible outcome and potential as they are already here. When we treat something that is not yet in the physical rhythm or the physical reality, if we treat it in a way that is, I would say, in a way that is here, we can actually create that inner rhythm and materialize it to become a reality. I want to talk a little bit about it because a lot of time, most of the time, we are confined by the rhythms that are our challenge, basically. We are confined by our daily pattern, which is identified by the day number that we were born. This is something that is going on 24/7. So if somebody was born on the 8th of the month or the 17th of the month and the rhythm of 8 is there, it's gonna be coloring one's experience and choices. And most of the time, it will color it in a reactive manner. So if we understand that, we can take that pattern to a much more beneficial state of engagement, you can say. And the universal intelligence recognize those frequencies and rhythms. The universe will respond to the rhythm that we actually vibrate. So if we vibrate it on a negative pole, we will actually create a response on that pole. If we vibrate it on a positive pole or vibrate a different frequency altogether, the universe will bring us resources and people that are correlate with that beneficial energy. So this is something to learn and understand. So going into this orientation, introduction, everyday numerology is a 13-week certificate program. It's 11 modules that will set one's destiny to coach, console, and support others, as well as yourself, to understand your own rhythm and how to actually enhance them into one's benefit, as well as what timing will be more beneficial than others. How the course runs. The course runs through live classes with weekly assignments and practices with access to class material, recording, and handouts. There is assignments, there are practices. You'll have to practice because rhythm change through practice. So if you want to actually change something in your life, you have to practice that change, that rhythmic change. The certificate program is providing knowledge to couple of things, large area. personality and character assessment, career and purpose identification, wealth abundance analysis. Each one of us carries that potential for abundance, but we may have to pursue it through a specific rhythm and specific choices. Relationships and their potential. Each one of us carry a certain relating or ability to connect. We all want to connect to others. But what if we are actually taking on some other social agreement and notions and ignoring our own rhythm when it comes to relationship? And then there's a whole science of timing for opportunity, timing for regrouping, timing for planning, and timing for projecting something that can come into reality. Also, the program itself is about understanding numbers and their frequency. It's about the practical practice of how to read a numeric chart. It's how to work with the energetic components of numbers. And things like significant numbers, there are numbers, more layers than just the number that we see in our chart. There are significant numbers that provide extra information. The nice thing about numerology that it is a solution-oriented system. So since everything is through a mathematical equation, there is an ability to challenge into opportunity by understanding the patterns that we need to practice to shift hardship or shift constraint into opportunity. And then there is, of course, time cycle. And we're also going to look closely in practice how to conduct a consultation, how to read the charts, how to address certain area with a client. So 13 weeks actually are not the very long time for this body of knowledge and practice, and eventually acquiring a certain muscle and a certain know-how to provide that wisdom to other people. Scanning these 13 weeks, you can look, you basically will have the capacity to already do readings for other people after week 6, and practice it with other people. The assignments are really fun. Some of it is actually doing readings for other people. Some of it is assessing historical figures or public figures and kind of looking underneath their hood, so to speak, and finding what is their patterns, what is their weakness and virtues, and understanding some of the choices they're made in their own lives, as well as historical events. Here's the deal, 15% off tuition through the 25th of, sorry, I made a mistake, 25th of August. Still, there's July there, and payment plan is available. $150 off of all on top of the 15% if it paid in full by, I would say, instead of the week's end, by the coming week. The course itself begins on September 13th. It's a special day. It's Mondays. Classes are on Mondays from 6:15 to 7:15. And if you have questions about the course or want to have question about joining the course, please text me at the phone number on the slide. That's all for today, and I'm just gonna open the inquiry to some